What's going on, guys? This is Evan, the Xenogears enthusiast, bringing you a gameplay commentary on Search and Destroy. This time I want to offer you the 3 golden rules that have improved my Search and Destroy gameplay. I also want to talk a little bit about my hopes and expectations for the next Elder Scrolls game. So let's get started. First off, the 3 golden rules of Search and Destroy. Rule number 1. Do not play in laggy environments. I know this goes without saying, but I'm always tempted to just play the match that's lagging 3-bar, it's not going that well, but I'm always tempted, like, let's play it out, I can outplay the lag. Yeah, don't do that. I've yet to be able to play well in 3-bar connection and Search. If you can out there, let me know your secret. But, I don't play in 3-bar anymore. I just leave the game. It's too frustrating for me to lose to what I perceive as death. At least on 4-bar, whether it's mental or not, I'm confident I lost on my own merits, and I can accept that. So, I'm done with 3-bar games for Search. Rule number 2, AK-7U. You either have to equip it yourself, or pick a weapon you're comfortable beating it with. Because nearly everyone in Search, I'm talking maybe 65% or more, probably more, is running the AK-7U. They like the up-close damage of, 40 a shot, it's like a 3-bullet kill or something like that.
Good job, team.
And they also enjoy the fact that, it's really usable at all ranges effectively. You move fast, and everything about it is good. So, going into Search, accept that everyone's going to be running it, and understand you need to be able to beat it. Whether that involves equipping it yourself, or equipping a weapon just to counter it, I don't know. But if you can beat the AK-7U consistently, you're going to win, 65% of your gunfights, at least. And that's really good for Search. Rule number 3, expect repetition.
Care package on the way.
In most of the Search games I play, people will run the same routes again and again with little or no variation. I don't know why this is, but the minute I start trying to think they're going to do something weird is when they do the exact same thing again. If you killed them that way one time, maybe 2 times, it's probably going to happen again and again. So, that's just my advice. I'm sure some people disagree. Maybe they'll say that, good players do different things, bad players do the same thing. Either way, if that's true, most of the Search players I play against must be awful, because they're all very predictable. AK-7U, rush your spawn. Okay? Cut off the rushing point with a close-range weapon like the Spaz, collect kills, LOL in all chat when they start screaming at you for being a shotgun noob. Okay. That said, I could offer specific gameplay advice for each level, but since I don't know if my gameplay advice is accurate, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to move on to the next phase of my commentary where I want to talk about, the Elder Scrolls series, my personal experience, and, the next game. I started playing Elder Scrolls with Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which was released on the Xbox and the PC simultaneously. All my playing was on the Xbox. I don't play on the PC version of games very often. I mean, I accept that they're superior, but I find that when I play on PC, I just want to mod the hell out of it. And I think that most people do the same thing on their PC, and that comes with a lot of good and a lot of bad. I once read a forum post that read, gamers on consoles, the first thing they say is, I can't wait to play this game and dominate the hell out of it. PC gamers, the first thing they say is, I can't wait to mod the hell out of it. So, whatever's your cup of tea. I personally, while I liked a lot of the mods on PC, I got to the point where I spent most of my time hunting down new mods to play as opposed to actually playing the game. So I guess I just can't handle it. And I absolutely loved Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I had over 300 hours logged on that game easily. That is the only game I played for an entire summer. Never put anything else in my Xbox. And it is probably the best summer of gaming I remember in a long time. For those of you who've never played the Elder Scrolls series, it is an open-world RPG. The biggest blockbuster game I can think of recently that's sort of similar would be Fallout, but Morrowind's even less structured than that, in my opinion. Then Oblivion came out, and all was not right with the world. I did not enjoy Elder Scrolls Oblivion in the least. Which was funny, because I really enjoyed Morrowind, and I accepted right off the bat I was a Morrowind fanboy, and this was going to be a different game. But, man, I just didn't like Oblivion at all. And I'm going to touch on some of those reasons and how I hope that'll be reflected in the next Elder Scrolls game. For me, I must have like a kleptomania syndrome, because to me the quests in Morrowind and Oblivion are boring. Okay, they're almost always go across the earth, find this guy, kill him. Go across the earth, you know, find this useless trinket and bring it back to me. You know, things like that. That's, you know, I like exploring and seeing the environment. But once you do it so many times, like, this is just boring. I want to walk all the way up to freaking, I don't know, like Dagon Fell or something. Like, let's take Morrowind. A lot of the Morag Tong quests were just annoying. Like, hey, go kill this guy. He's in the middle of nowhere on some little shack on an island. Like, okay, sure. I'll take a ship. I'll take 3 different ships to this point. Then I'll swim across the ocean to this point. Then I'll run on this landmass. And yeah, that was just part of the game. And I enjoyed it to a degree, but I kind of got burned out with it. Then that ties right into Oblivion, because Oblivion put in the fast travel system, which I actually like. I think that should stay around in the next Elder Scrolls game, because you don't have to fast travel. I mean, if all you do is choose to fast travel, that's kind of on you. But at the same time, I think Oblivion sort of forced you to use the fast travel system. I mean, the wilderness in Oblivion was beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong. The scenery was fantastic. Whereas on Morrowind, it was just like a big burned-out volcano, you know, with little to no texturing. Like, okay, that's great. But at least there was a lot of caves and dungeons and things to do. Well, check that out. You know, it's fun to explore and find things. Find rare artifacts and things that can boost your character. That's fantastic. You know, in Oblivion, there wasn't really a lot in the wilderness. It was all centralized in the city. I wasn't a huge fan. Okay. So I would like to see a return to not necessarily a more lush environment, but more dungeons, more caves, even if they're pointless and empty. Just let me explore them. Let me kill some low-level bandits. Why not? Alright. Next thing I want to talk about is the level-based loot in Oblivion that was not in Morrowind. I absolutely hate level-based loot with a passion. The reason being, like, I'm sort of a perfectionist in RPGs. I want my character, at least the first character or second character I make, to be as strong as I perceive him to be possible with the items in the game without modding or cheating. So for me, that involves carefully planning the items I plan to equip on a regular basis, you know, the stats I want to level. You know, not everyone does that, but a lot of people do. And I think eventually almost everyone is going to want to create what they perceive as the perfect character. And, you know, when you put level-based loot in, it forces me to not participate in any of the quests until I'm at the highest level for that loot. That's absurd. That's boring. Don't do that. I mean, I would almost be okay with it if at least the item sort of leveled with you. I think the reason they did that was in Morrowind, what people would pretty much do is go get a power item early out of the gate. There's a way you could get a Daedric weapon, and if you don't know what that is, that's the sort of the highest caliber of weapon that's not technically unique. So they go get a Daedric weapon and just sort of plow through the game and then complain on the forums the game is too easy. Okay, first off, if you don't know the little tricks to get those power weapons, Morrowind is challenging. I mean, your level 1 character will just get destroyed by town guards for quite a while. And these are just town guards, these aren't like legendary enemies. But if you really want to help control the difficulty a little more, I think a good solution is to equip like a level requirement on weapons. It sort of takes away from the immersion to have a requirement on being able to pick something up. But I think that's a good compromise between making the item level as opposed to, you know, just, you know, your character is new to the world and he's not skilled enough to use such a sophisticated, powerful weapon like a Daedric longsword. I don't know. Rationalize it however you want. But, you know, I do not advocate a level-based system. Anything but that. Please don't bring that back. Next, level-based creatures. This was the, you know, sort of counter the arguments that Morrowind's gameplay was boring because all eventually you have to do is slaughter cliff racers with one hit. Okay, yeah, I acknowledge that cliff racers were annoying, but I thought part of the experience of Morrowind was leveling up and was getting stronger. You know, to me, that's when the game really gets fun. I mean, it's building up my character, and it's the greatest accomplishment ever when I'm finally at the point where, yes, I just get to one-shot people. You know, there's nothing wrong with letting your character become, like, godlike. I mean, you know, if you're level 50, you should be a total monster. I mean, there's no reason that you have to have constant challenges. Make a new character if you want that. Or, you know, I don't mind if, you know, there's, like on Fallout, there's, like, the legendary Deathclaw. There's things out in the world that no matter what level you are scary and can destroy you, like Lord Vivek in Morrowind. Vivek, I don't pronounce it, but in Morrowind, you know, you could actually fight the gods or the demigods of the game. I mean, sure, you could beat them, you know, if you had the right items. It wasn't hard at all, but you know, they were still a big threat. I mean, it wasn't like you're just going to walk in and start rumbling and expect to win that easily, you know? Like, maybe on your 300th hour in the game, it didn't seem like much of a challenge, but by that point, it's probably like 2 or 3 years on in-game time, and all you've done in those 3 years is train and run around trying to find items. Like, it feel like being on P90X for 3 years, you know? You'd be a total monster. At least I think you'd be. I hear P90X makes you pretty big. Someone let me know in the comments. So yeah, I want to do with the whole level-based thing, and I want the leveling system basically just to return to Morrowind. I think the leveling system in Morrowind was perfect. The training, everything. I like the idea that if you have the gold to finance it, it's not hard to make the perfect character. You know, if you can scavenge gold. There's nothing wrong with having a method for people to create the perfect character. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone has to have an RP-oriented character. If they want to power game their character, let them. You know, if they want to farm the gold to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. Bring back the Morrowind level system. The only change I would like to see is on endurance. Endurance gave you life per level, and it didn't work retroactively. So what that meant was, you know, if I had 30 endurance, I had to get a 5 endurance multiplier. For those of you who don't play Morrowind, this won't make any sense, but like a 5 endurance multiplier every time to get my endurance as high as possible to get the most life per level. That was annoying, and I just think it should work retroactively. When I raise my endurance, it should be applied to every level previously. I think that makes sense. I don't see any reason not to include that. Sure, why not? Let's do it. But otherwise, I don't like anything about Oblivion's system. The training cap, stupid. Take that out. The lack of as many miscellaneous and minor skills was stupid. Take that out. You know, like, let's just go back to Morrowind. Hell, they could remake Morrowind, and I'd probably pay, you know, any amount of money to get a hold of it. That'd be like 300 hours of gameplay or more entertainment for me. I kind of feel like Oblivion was a streamlined Morrowind, and that's not what I want to see. I want a return to the good old grind of Morrowind, where at level 1, my longsword would actually miss mud crabs. I liked it. I like being weak, and then I like ascending from total crap to be an absolute monster. Let's bring that back. Let's bring back the pursuit of gear. Let's bring back the construction of large houses that you own. You know, let's bring it all back. Let's get rid of this watered down, cheesy Oblivion crap and just get back to the hardcore Morrowind. You know, I think you're hard pressed to find anyone who didn't like Morrowind. Oblivion did do the combat system right. Definitely keep that around. But give me the ability to actually delete the spells I buy, please. I don't understand why I couldn't, but I couldn't. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a ramble about the Elder Scrolls games. I don't like pre-record these or write essays or something about them before I do them. So I'm just kind of brainstorming and sharing my thoughts. You guys throw out there what you think. You know, tell me what you think of the 3 golden rules of search and destroy, and tell me what you hope for in the next Elder Scrolls game. I'm sure there's some people out there who really liked Oblivion a lot more than Morrowind, and you know, they probably are ready to tear my head off. You know, do so. Let me know in the comments. You know, thanks for watching the gameplay. I enjoyed producing this, despite the incoherent rambling. Final score's going up there. I was playing with Flesh Maniac this game. He did the other commentary, my first guest commentary, and I gotta say he's getting a lot better at search. It's pretty exciting. As always, you know, I'm not getting a lot of invites like I was before. You know, keep sending me invites. Let's play some games, guys. Alright, thanks. And yes, I only play on Xbox. Love y'all.